to try and terminate this leg in his advantage. But yes, this is looking like a last leg best of one shootout.
40. Marvin, you require
I don't
32.
like to do the commentator's curse, but finishing here, Rowlands has been 3 from 3.
Game shot on a sixth
Which
leg.
means
Marvin
if
van
he gets a
Velsen.
dart a double, there may be a reaction after this, Scott.
These are the days you play for, mate, to believe in yourself.
54.
And he misses 2.
Richard, you require 40.
The tension in this first game, in this group, you could cut the air on the stage with a chainsaw. And
shot
Rowlands
and the
wins
match,
it.
Richard Rowland.
After a chance, Marvin does not get over the line, and Richard gets the first spoils by winning that one by 4 legs to 3. He worked very hard for that. Almost 19 minutes of tension. I hate to tell you this, Richard, but you haven't got a very long between this game and your next one because you're playing in game 3, and he's beaten Van Velsen with 11 less points on his average, giving us a lot of stuff to think about. Game 2 is coming up after the break, and it will be Steve West, the winner of Week 11, up against Tom Sykes.
Sometimes in games, there's nothing you can do. For me, Westy's in the form of his life before
140.
his hip operation.
Tom, you require 132.
And he hasn't been too bad since he's came back. I just think that he's now a happily married man. He's in his right place mentally in life, and we're seeing
Steve,
some of
you
the best
require
darts he's ever thrown.
101.
If you were to approach him right now and offer him first, second, or third, he wouldn't care. But
Game
there's
shot on
that
the first
trusty
leg,
tops.
Steve West.
If he's hitting tops this week, anything else. There's the 25. There's the
Game shot
tops.
And the match, Steve
A
West.
terrific game. And West did boss the first 3 legs. And after that, things just started to plateau a little bit. Still nothing between their averages in that match. But it was always going to be difficult for Sykes to break West in that first game in Group B. And he wasn't able to do it. And that 32 bet in the bottom left corner did have something to say about it. But he was always chasing. And West gets his first 2 points in this group. So, now it's time to say hello to the Pac-Man. And he's going to be up against Richard Eric Rowlands.
Positive throw. It's not a launch it up there and hope it goes. It's you're going where I want you to go, Mr. Dart. And it's a very strong sort of direct throw. Rowlands here.
Game
Ouch,
shot on a
ouch,
second leg,
ouch. What a
Richard Rowland.
shot. What a finish.
And
The
97.
Dart missed at a double. And where have we said that before about Richard? The last 2 games he's played on this stage. The trend could continue. Oh, for heaven's
Game shot on
sake,
the fourth
Richard.
leg, Richard Rowland.
He's seeing the doubles like they're the size of the playing cards on the back of his shirt. Not this time. But another time might come
87.
if Paxton clicks
Adam, you
this.
require 40.
Yet again, we are visit perfect in this match.
Game
and that
shot on
remains the
sixth leg,
case.
Adam Paxton.
This is a clinic. That tells me a lot about how Adam thinks about this game.
Rowlands here will stay there. And now look.
$134. Adam, you require 100.
They are basically neck and neck in averages. They're split by 0.01. But it's tops.
Game shot. And the
Visit
match,
perfect
Adam
from
Paxton.
start to finish. That game had a little bit of everything. He enjoyed that, we did too, and the only person who didn't was Richard Rowlands. You wouldn't think so. That was just a brilliant contest, befitting any Thursday night that we'll ever have here. They were so close. And the fact that Paxton missed 2 darts at double, it meant 0 because he would hit it the very next time he left it. Rowlands has not missed a dart at double on that stage much at all tonight, but he's got to settle for 2 points out of a possible 4. When we come back, it's going to be West against the darts up against Marvin the Martian van Velsen. On the same shot, it'll be 3-0. 15 will do.
Game shot on a third leg.
Sublime.
Marvin van Velsen.
Sublime from Van Velzen. Really has bounced back from that
Fourth
earlier
leg.
loss.
Steve, you require 106.
Steve's job right now is to make sure that Marvin doesn't get a match dart. Easier said than done. Tops again.
Game shot on
This
a fourth
time it
leg.
works.
Steve West.
One mistake, it can be fatal. One visit of mistakes, and it could be game over. Double 10. And
Game
Marvin
shot
wins
and
a
the
belt
match.
up.
Marvin
That
van
was a
Velsen.
tremendous display. And don't let his average in that game fool you, because after 3 legs, he was averaging almost 110. He had a bit of a shake in leg 4 and in leg 5 that he won, but when he got his chance to win the match, he got it done, and his doubles did not disappoint at 67%. West fails to win 4 points from 4, but he's definitely part of the pack, and will the pack man be leading the pack after the first half of play on Thursday? Stay here to find out as he takes on Tom Sykes next.
That
Required
still hasn't changed my
36.
mind the way I think about this game, but
Game shot on the first leg.
I also
Tom
think it's
Sykes.
really funny that Tom Sykes has got a picture of Adam on the back of his shirt. Now, this is where the guy made his name.
I will be amazed if we see Tom Sykes here next year. For me, he looks Pro Tour
140.
already. But he does not want to leave the Motor Super Series in 2024 without that Super Series title.
140.
If he hits
Tom, you
this,
require 124.
it's the biggest average of the week. Bull. My
Game shot and
word.
the match. Tom Sykes.
Seriously, Sykes goes crazy. And he's only gone and beaten Connor Scott's best of the week by 2 points. That was hellfire from Yorkshire in Portsmouth. Serious darts, serious intention, and 4 out of 4 on the doubles. He limits Adam Paxton to 0 on the outer ring. What a great game plan that was. And it worked. Tom Sykes 4, Adam Paxton 0, and we all need a breather. Turns out he's got the
Steve, you
luxury of
require
12.
40. Game shot
Didn't
and
need
the
12.
match. Steve West.
He just needed 10, but that's the ideal bounce back for West, who was hit with a hammer against Marvin van Velsen. He comes back with a 4-0 win, and that repairs his leg difference to get himself at +4 and on 4 points, which is the key thing. It just goes to show here at the Motor Super Series tonight, you can win with an 80 average and you can win 4-0. You can also average 33 points more than that and still get the same result, which is exactly what Sykes has done. And Sykes is coming back against Marvin van Velsen next. And if they're both going to turn up, this could be ridiculous.
Special setup play there from Sykes. Should get a dart at the ball. Bullseye.
61.
Well, you can't get any
Tom, you
closer
require
than hitting it
40.
from there.
One person misses a shot. One person hits a shot. That
shot and
was
the
that
match,
game
Tom Sykes.
in a nutshell. And for the 3rd consecutive day, Tom Sykes beats Marvin by 4 legs to 3. And after losing his first game of the night, Sykes has rebounded and he stares down the lens with gumption. He had the better average for the majority of the match, but Marvin, when he sees the stats, all he's going to look at is those 15 misses at the darting double. Well, what a game that was, alongside the other 6. But when we come back, it's going to be Steve West who's going to finish his quota of 4 matches tonight. And if he beats Adam Paxton, he's going to have 6 points for his efforts.
You require 121.
So, bullseye first. 21.
96.
We couldn't quite see past the flight. We thought that was a double ball finish.
140.
Seriously, Steve.
Stevie
That was a
required
spicy
25.
meatball. He doesn't even flinch.
17.
But there he does a
Adam,
little
you
bit.
require 124.
And Adam doesn't need 2 bulls. He may just need 1. 1 bull.
99.
He only gets a
Steve,
semi-bull.
you require 8.
So after 3 match darts,
Game
West
shot and the
wins
match. Steve
and
West.
walks away from Thursday and Friday, because it is Friday morning, with 6 points from a possible 8. That is a sensational start to his campaign in Champions Week. And if he was to replicate that on Friday night, West will go back to the Champions Night and join Connor Scott. It was good enough on this occasion. Not his premium best, but it didn't have to be. He got enough chances and he took what he needed. And he is running into the Portsmouth night with the lead at the top of the table for now. When we come back, it's going to be the end of the night for Tom Sykes and Richard Rowlands.
Tom, you require 144.
Match point Sykes. Double 12. That's
Game
how you
shot
finish a
and the
campaign.
match. Tom Sykes.
With a flourish. He's not going to top the table, but that really is a good night's work. And leaving your campaign for the day with a shot like that is something we have seen this week already from Jimmy Van Schie and from Marvin Van Velsen, who hit 144s and 132s. It wasn't a vintage Tom Sykes performance, it was workmanlike. And most of his work has been done tonight, giving him 6 points from a possible 8. When we come back, we're going to grab a word with Tom.
1.
All right, lads, it's only a game of darts. But it is a gladiatorial sport. And that is a
Shot
12
at third
darter for
leg,
Marvin,
Marvin Van Velsen.
who has rediscovered his bubble in the last couple of legs.
Yeah, he's a bit Johnny H. Jazz now. Shattered dreams.
97. Marvin, you require 20.
A little bit of composure before he tries to solidify third spot after the first day of play.
Game
That's
shot
what he's
and
got.
the match. Marvin Van
It's a
Velsen.
good bounce back because Van Velsen, who started with a defeat tonight against Rowlands, he's had a very up and down night, but boy has he played well there. 99.4. He's almost bookended the night because that's what he had against Rowlands in defeat in the first game, but it is good enough to win this time. It could have been a lot better had he been sharper on the doubles towards the end, but he'll take that. And overnight, he will be sitting in a qualifying position for the Champions Night just behind Sykes and West. The end of the night for us, with myself, Mr. Mitchell and Mr. Murphy, is coming up after the break.
So the end of the night has come halfway through Group B. Paul Nicholson and Scott Mitchell have been in commentary watching the action. I will start with you, Paul. Has it been as you expected or something different to that?
Do you know, I think what we're starting to get this week is a new perspective as to what's possible. Did we expect anybody to average over 113? Do you know what? I think we probably did. And we've had predictions from other people sitting in these chairs this week. Some of them, and most of them, have been very, very positive. But I'm not surprised to see somebody putting that kind of marker out there. But the dramatic games that we've had, real good 4-3s, as well as really good tight tussles, that's what we expect from a Group B in Champions Week.
Scott, your first appearance this week, was it worth the wait?
Yeah, very much so. I enjoyed the 113 from Tom in that 6 minutes. That was pretty special. But then I've enjoyed him having to work hard as well in a game that's a totally different match altogether, being slower with pace, not comfortable for him to play, and he's having to develop himself as the all-round dart player. And I think he's starting to learn, and he's going to be there and thereabouts for a long time to come.
Yeah, a couple of players at the top. Sykes, one of them. Steve West, though, is at the summit of the pile. We did kind of expect Steve to make it through this group. Can you see this going wrong for him tomorrow? Has he got a foot in finals night?
Can't see it going wrong at all. I think the most important thing overnight is that he revels in the fact that he's done a very good job tonight. But what he's done masterfully tonight is he's played each game individually. He hasn't looked too far ahead. He has understood the threat from every player. He's obviously done his homework. He didn't look like he was uncomfortable with the pace of Rowlands. He understood that game was going to be slow. Against everybody else, he knew exactly what he was going to get, and predominantly he found a win.
Great point, isn't it? You can't buy experience, and he showed it tonight.
No, absolutely. And we know with Group B, we've been here many times and I've played in it, it can get away from you. The games, you get used to playing in the games where there's 15 in a day, and all of a sudden you've got 10 in the evening, and the whole group can pass you by. You lose one, think, that's all right, I'll get the next one. And Steve hasn't done that at all. He's focused on the next one coming up, then looked over his shoulder. Once he's done the business there, he's then looked at the next one. And like you say, experience in this situation is just seeing him through.
No doubt last year who the Super Series belonged to in Luke Littler and what he's achieved since then. Could 2024 turn out to be the year of Tom Sykes here at the Super Series, who's just tonight hit the second highest average we've ever seen at a Champions Week?
There's no reason why not. I mean, we've been raving about Tom for a good 12 months, but it was amazing to look him in the eye during the interview post his 4 games and to inform him that it was the second best average. And he looks at that, he looked disappointed at the fact that it wasn't the best. That tells you everything about his ambition. He's going to need performances like that if he wants to be a world-class player at times. But like Scott mentioned, he's learning to play games and win games different ways. And to be a Super Series champion and to be an icon of this place, that's something you have to do. If you look at Littler winning weeks, he's won with 117 average. He's won a series against Osborne where he didn't play great at all in that final, and that proves the point.
Yeah, and the same could be said about Marvin van Velzen. He seems to find ways to win when he needs to.
Yeah, I think he's been a little bit unfortunate tonight. One of those 4 threes could have gone his way, and he already had the win on the board then, and that would have made that last game a little bit easier for him. But the fact that it wasn't easier and the fact that he stepped up actually impressed us even more, because he was chasing the game. He had to win that game to walk out of it to feel that he's achieved tonight.
Yeah, really good stuff from him. He dealt with Steve West as well. There is still that little feeling in all of the groups actually this week that anybody can beat anybody. So nothing certain yet.
Not at all. I mean, you look at the way Adam Paxton played in his first game tonight. He was really, really decent. So when everybody's got points leading into night 2 of Group B, anything is possible. If you've got 6 points like Tom and Steve have, you don't rest on that because 6 points doesn't get you through. 8 points might, 10 points will, so you come back with the same vigour and you get the job done, because if you go to sleep, you might not be coming back on Saturday.
A group average of over 91, everybody hit a ton plus checkout. Nobody's kind of shrunk into themselves tonight, have they? Everybody's shown what they can do.
Yeah, and I have to say that at times, some of them have missed certain moments in a game and let their opponent get away. Tomorrow, it could be them having those moments and them getting back on top of their opponents. It's been a really tight game, and some of the results haven't sort of gone the way that they looked like they were going. So if they get reversed tomorrow, we could, who knows, let's have a 9-dart shootout.
I'll give you the job, Paul, of dissecting the group table. This is how it looks going into the final night of action. It'll be the last chance to qualify this time tomorrow. 4 points from top to bottom. We did, in the middle of the night, think that they might all have the same amount of points come the end of the evening. Can you see either Adam Paxton or Richard Rowlands doing enough to breach that top 3?
Yes, absolutely. Because when we've got a complexity of a table like that, if you flip it completely around 180 degrees, then you'll have everybody on 8 points. That's something that would get everybody talking. But if you think about it logically, that can happen. Like Scott mentioned, if somebody just comes off the top a little bit and the bottom 2 and the person in the middle just start to do the right things at the right times, we could have a situation where Tom Sykes and Steve West do not qualify and find themselves on the same points as everybody else. That is an enticing possibility. Is it going to happen? It's unlikely, but as long as it's possible, we will talk about it.
Right, we've seen everybody play now this week. Every player's been in action, and we're going to know at the end of tomorrow who the 6 are that make it through to the finals. I'll start with you. I haven't done this yet this week, but I'm going to start with you, Paul. One name, having seen them all, who's going to be lifting the trophy on Saturday?
Scott.
Scott?
I don't think Tom's going to be that far away.
There we go. Thanks for your company tonight, gentlemen. We'll see how it unfolds tomorrow. Do join us for a double dose of darts once again when we will find out the final 5 players to join Connor Scott at Champions Night on Saturday. The action gets back underway from 1 p.m. live here on the Modus Super Series YouTube channel. See you then.